This is Alan Gilman with Torah Bites for the week of February the 14th, 2026, the 27th of Shevat, 5786. The following is a revised version of a message originally posted the week of February the 25th, 2017, the 29th of Shevat, 5777. And it's entitled, Where is Heaven? And I'm reading from Shemot, Exodus chapter 24, verses 9 through 11. Then Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu and 70 of the elders of Israel went up, and they saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet as it were a pavement of sapphire stone, like the very heaven for clearness. And he did not lay his hand on the chief men of the people of Israel. They beheld God, and ate and drank. One of the most intriguing incidents in the Torah is when Moses, his brother Aaron, two of Aaron's sons, and 70 elders ate with God. The references to seeing and beholding God seem to contradict God's later statement to Moses in Shemot, Exodus chapter 33, verse 20, about not seeing his face. But in both occasions, there seems to be a seeing but not seeing happening at the same time. In the latter story, Moses is told he can't see God's face, but only his back. How literally this is to be taken, we don't know. It's reasonable to assume that seeing God's face as opposed to his back is a reference to various levels of encountering his presence in the material realm. Human beings, due to our alienation from God, can only tolerate his revealing himself to some extent, a fullness of which would result in death. This explains reaction of surprise by people such as Jacob, Gideon, Samson's parents, and Isaiah, who've encountered God in some physical sense and yet survived. A hint that Moses and company in this instance didn't see God in his fullness is the mention of his feet and the appearance of the ground underneath him. If they saw more than that, one would think there would be additional, more graphic things to describe. Experiencing the presence of God, or the lack thereof, is a recurring theme in Scripture. The early pages of the Bible, Genesis chapter 3, describe God's mingling with people. Adam and Eve's exile from the Garden of Eden for their rebellion against their Creator marks the beginning of our alienation from Him, and yet God is not entirely absent. His contact with human beings from that time on is primarily verbal, however that worked, with a few dramatic and more intimate encounters such as the ones I've mentioned. The directives God gave to Moses for building the Mishkan, or in English the tabernacle, the precursor to the temple, indicate God's desire to dwell with His people. On one hand, he was understood to be in the people's midst, but on the other hand, he was hidden from them behind the veil in front of the Mishkan's inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies. But doesn't God live in a completely other place called heaven? Both the experience of eating with God and God's presence within the Mishkan tell us something different. Heaven isn't way out there somewhere, rather, it's where God is. Understanding heaven as far away is a way of speaking to describe the separation of God's realm from the world in which we live. Yet the Bible teaches that the heavenly realm breaks in from time to time. And one day, the heavenly and earthly realms will coexist harmoniously as God always intended when the New Jerusalem is established on earth. What Moses and company had was a taste of this age to come. Whenever and however that will be, we can access heaven now. That's what happens when God's Spirit takes up residence in us. The Messiah's sacrifice and his defeat of death through his resurrection create access to heaven beyond anything experienced prior to his coming, Moses and company's experience included. The realm of God is not something we must wait to experience when we die. It can be our lived experience now by putting our trust in the Messiah, Yeshua. For more messages like this, visit the Torah Bites website at www.torahbites.org. Email your comments and questions to comments@torahbites.org. And you can follow us on X @TorahBites. Until next time, this is Alan Gilman with Torah Bites. Lehitraot.